Does the drop in DC crime from the National Guard reflect real safety gains? Yes. Well, yes. Or just short-term enforcement? Is this effect sustainable? This is a great question. You guys might have seen the mayor did a press conference yesterday, Mayor Bowser, and she did two things. I read her report yesterday, and then she put out a report, and then through the course of it, the report basically spotlights what effect has the surge had, what's working, what's not, what should be next, right? That was sort of the main. If you actually read the report, that's sort of like what it shows. But one thing she was very complimentary about was she's like, carjackings are down like an insane amount, like 87%, which I am inclined to believe. Or I mean, there was a bunch of stuff that had like significant decline, but like there's a couple problems with that. Like who is mad about a whatever the actual number is? Who is mad about a massive reduction in carjackings? Like nobody, right? Like nobody. Like it's great, but the problems are that's not our issue. Our issue is not. Yeah, I mean, if you set up checkpoints on Rhode Island Avenue or 14th Street or New York Avenue or any of these main thoroughfares, yeah, and you have military with M4s or MP4s in the fucking Farragut North metro station, and then you've got park police out arresting people and shuffling around the homeless, and then you've got HSI. So I had to go pick up my wife's birthday cake yesterday. I had to go to this place called Luna Hall. You can look it up. It's right there in the middle of Chinatown. It's right across the street from it's actually right near it's by Metro Center, but it's by the Capital One Arena. And so I walk by there. I'm not kidding, bro. They're on all four corners. This is where that main entrance to Chinatown is. You may have seen it. It's a cool, iconic entrance. I'm not kidding. I counted 40 police officers across four different corners. They're just everywhere. Like it is overwhelming. The police are everywhere. How could crime not go down? You know what I mean? They're everywhere. They're doing checkpoints. They're in the metro. Dude, these motherfuckers, I saw two National Guardsmen at my local Harris Teeter with weapons sitting in the motherfucking Harris Teeter. Like, how could crime not go down? They're fucking everywhere. So yes, like no one's mad about like, okay, what are your chances of getting carjacked today versus a month ago? Yeah, there's significantly less. Like that's cool. But the problem is, number one, there's not enough for these people to do. They called it a crime emergency. I've been trying to explain to you that we can talk about meaningful things that can reduce crime, but there is no crime emergency. That was a lie before. It's still a lie, which is why you're watching also huge parts of the mobilized various states of the National Guard engaging in motherfucking landscaping, picking up trash, laying mulch. They don't have shit to do. There are so many fucking various versions of MPDC, Park Police, HSI, you name it, ICE, the whole bit, that there's just overflow at this point, and they have nothing to fucking do. I mean, I thought we were here to tackle violent crime, and yes, like violent crime in that particular sense is being handled, but then why are they doing landscaping? And it's like, oh, well, Trump wants to improve how some of the federal properties in the city look. And it's like, I mean, you could have done that before, and you can do it for much cheaper without having to mobilize the fucking National Guard to do it. But that's not even the biggest issue. I mean, it's just sort of this weird over-policing. But the biggest issue is like, yeah, if you flood the streets with 8 gazillion cops, crime's going to go down, but you can't sustain it. At some point, they're going to leave. I don't know when. Probably not after 30 days. It might be a long time after that, but at some point they're going to leave. What are you doing meaningfully to create lasting solutions? Because yes, if you just put a lid on it, yeah, fine, the crime will go down. But the minute the lid comes off, well, what happens then? There's no real answer and like no one has said anything about this. And there's a couple other problems along with it too. Number one, they're arresting everybody for every reason, to the point that the DC court systems, which by the way, Congress has refused to staff, are overwhelmed. Day after day, they're going well past 11, sometimes midnight. I think on Monday or Tuesday, they went to 1:30 in the morning trying to process cases. They're overcharging people. They tried to charge that guy who threw the sandwich at the fucking, I don't know if it was a cop or if it was ICE or Border Patrol or whatever the fuck he was. Do you see they tried to get a grand jury to indict him for a felony 3 times and failed 3 different times? You have to plead out to a misdemeanor today because they could not get the fucking jury to be like, no fucking way we're going to let you charge these motherfuckers for a felony for this. Like, this is absurd. So there's that problem as well. They are not talking about fixing the $1.1 billion hole that they put in the budget, which is what we need to get. Because Mayor Bowser, one thing that she wants is to get cops right around 4,000. We're about 3,200 now. She wants and we had that, I want to say like 10 years ago, 2017, something like that. She wants to get back there. Cool. But if you keep blowing a hole in our budget, we can't fucking get there. We run a balanced budget. If you want to raise taxes, that's fine. But if you're making us shave off hundreds of millions of dollars because Congress is playing stupid appropriations games with us, how are we supposed to do that? And perhaps 2 more things I might point out that are quite pernicious. I know that there were some fucking morons from the Cato Institute yesterday trying to get you to believe that there's not a downswing in the economy here as a consequence of this surge, but I'm sorry, the evidence becomes overwhelming no matter which way you look. Just today, there was an article by WUSA 9 pointing out that tourism, since the surge has taken place, has fucking plummeted here to the point that tour guides have virtually no business day after day. It is killing it. That matches what I hear from my friends in hospitality. That matches what bar owners have been saying, that in certain neighborhoods like Adams Morgan, they've lost 70% of their foot traffic. Dude, he's fucking killing the economy here, to say nothing of the layoffs that Doge did. There is this weird tendency with people. I don't know why. Why is it that people who are from here, who live here, and I was here in the 80s, I was here during the 90s, I was here during the 2000s, I was here during the 2010s, and motherfucker, I'm here in the 2020s. Why is it people like me who live here, who are telling you how it is, there's this weird tendency? You saw Scott Jennings on CNN being like, I don't care what the people of DC think. Yo, fuck you, Scott. I don't give a fuck what you think. Why is it that the people who live here, the testimony of what they want and what they need and what they expect, why is this considered irrelevant? It makes, I mean, you would never do this to any other place. Oh, they're saying, there's no crime emergency. Well, they must be lying. Why would you, why? Oh, Trump says that the restaurants are having a boom, yet all the available evidence suggests, at least for them, I mean, maybe it'll change. Maybe people will just get used to it. But as it's been right now, it's exactly the opposite. You couldn't find an easier way to get a reservation during restaurant week, no less, which they had to extend a second fucking week because it did so bad. People's testimony about what they see and what they want and what they expect who live here is just disregarded. And the last thing I'm going to say about this is, I don't give a shit about ICE. I don't need them here to snatch up delivery drivers from Venezuela on scooters. They're not a public threat. They're not in any way a leech on public services here in the city. We can actually look at city budgets to see where that money goes. They're not. They're just, it's just matter of factly not true. Most of them don't even live here anyway. They tend to live, either over the border in Hyattsville or something like that. And they're not a threat. And what I really want is for immigration reform. I want to find a way to, as we talked about on my Substack with Professor Zeke Hernandez, one of the foremost experts and scholars of immigration in the motherfucking world, that these people, it is, to quote him, scientifically illiterate to say anything other than those kinds of people who come here like that, in their particular case, are the least likely to commit crimes of any portion of the population that we have. They can measure that. They can prove that. I don't give a fuck what right-wing bubble you're in and listening to with Breitbart or Ben Shapiro. That's a fucking fact from one of the foremost immigration scholars in the world, in which, of course, he cites his work in the book. I've tried to recommend to people to go read it. It's up to you. I don't give a shit about rounding those people off the street. That's not what concerns me. What concerns me is if you want to help DC, We need sustainable solutions. So to the extent that they want to add more police to the force, great, cool. That to me seems like a lasting kind of solution. I'm okay. Cool, fine, great. But that's by itself probably not going to get the job done. What are your plans for the city once all these people are gone? What is it then? And if you don't have one, then what are you doing? And again, it's just so nakedly obvious. None of this has shit to do with crime, or at least very little to do with crime. It's a pretext to do any number of other things: immigration enforcement, harassment of political adversaries, test run for the militarization of other cities, which we're already seeing. They're now going to go, in all likelihood, to Chicago. Did you see ICE wants to take over a Navy base that they use outside of Chicago as a staging ground? That came out in the Washington Post last night. Like, I need folks to understand what the truth of the reality is. And if you want to help DC killing its economy while we already have 6% unemployment because of the Doge layoffs and everything else, doesn't help fucking crime here. So yeah, dude, if there's a police officer everywhere you can swing a dead cat, I guess there's going to be less crime for as long as that's going to be the case. But that's not going to be the case forever. So what is the plan? And to my knowledge, short of the mayor herself wanting to get the police force number raised, I haven't heard anything. So let's see how it goes. If things change from here and everyone just decides that they love these people and that this is great, cool. We'll see how it goes. But that's not the world we live in now. The world we live in now is one that everyone in DC hates this shit and they want these guys gone as soon as possible. So there you go.